Hey guys, let's see how exit slip day 2 went. So we're calculating the lateral surface area and the total surface area of each right prism, round to the nearest tenth where appropriate. So number 1 is a rectangular prism. So I had mentioned this with the last EDay, that with rectangular prisms, it's kind of hard. You don't really know which one is the base because it just depends on which rectangle you look at. So our lateral surface areas might be different depending on which rectangle you chose as your base, but our total surface areas will be the same. So for me, I'm going to choose the front and the back rectangles as my bases, so that when I'm calculating, just this way, you know, if you chose like the top and the bottom or the front or the sides, then our lateral areas will be different, but our total surface areas will be the same. So number 1, this is a rectangular prism because the bases are rectangles. And so what we want to do is focus in, redraw the base first. So our base is a 3 by 5 rectangle. So the perimeter of that base is going to be 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 5, which is 16. The area of that base is going to be 3 times 5, which is 15. And so we're going to use those values in the total surface area formula, which is 2b plus ph. I'm going to rewrite it with parentheses for all of my variables. And I'm going to take my perimeter and plug it in for the perimeter. So our perimeter is 16. And then I'm going to take my area of my base and plug it in for the area of my base in my formula, which is 15. Now the last thing we need is the height of the prism. So the height of the prism is the distance between the two bases. Another way you can identify is if we take whatever dimensions we used to calculate the perimeter and the area of the base, the 3 and the 5, if you cross those out, there's only going to be one value left over, and that will be the height of your prism. So we can plug all those in, multiply through, get that our total surface area, this is going to be 30 plus 112. Our total surface area is 142 square feet. We can put that here, 142 square feet. Now the lateral area is the area of all the lateral faces, the ones that are not the bases. So if we just look at our surface area formula, this part is the lateral area. So I'm just gonna focus in on that portion of my work, and that's my lateral area. I didn't have to do any extra work or anything. It was already in my work. All right, let's take a look at number 2. So number 2, I'm trying to find my bases. My bases are the two congruent polygons, usually that are not rectangles. So in this case, our two congruent polygons that are parallel are these two top and bottom triangles. And so this is going to be a triangular prism, again because there's two bases and those two triangles are congruent, and so I'm just going to draw my triangle and put in all the dimensions. So I see a 4, a 3. On the bottom, I see that this side is 5. The more I'm looking at this, guys, what do you guys remember about the numbers 3, 4, and 5 in a rectangle? Isn't that a right as a Pythagorean triple? So this triangle, yeah, it's a triangle, but it's actually a right triangle. So I'm going to draw this a little bit more accurately with a right angle in here, and because our 5s are hypotenuse, I just wanted to make sure I have that in there. So this is actually a right triangular prism. So as we go, we want to calculate the perimeter and the area of the base. So the perimeter is 3 plus 4 plus 5. We're just adding them all up. Our perimeter is 12. The area of our base is the area of a triangle, 1/2 base times height. So the area of a triangle, the base and the height have to be the perpendicular segments. So for us, the perpendicular segments are the legs of our right triangle, the 4 and the 3. So the area of our base is 6. So we have the perimeter and the base. So we go to our surface area formula is 2b plus ph. I'm going to put in my parentheses and then plug in those values where they go. The perimeter goes where the perimeter belongs, so 12. The area of my base goes where the area of my base belongs. And then I go back to my original diagram and I cross off the 3, the 4, and the 5, the dimensions I use for the base, and the one that's left over is the height of the prism. The distance between those two triangles is 2. So now I have all my values. Now I just need to multiply to combine. 12 plus 24, my total surface area is 36 square centimeters. So here's 36 square centimeters. I can go back into my work without doing any extra work and find that my lateral area is that 24 square centimeters. All right, guys, remember, feel free to pause the video at any point to, you know, if you need more time to copy something down or rewind it or whatever, it's here for you guys. All right, number 3, so we want to look at this regular, or this prism. So we look for those congruent bases. Here, the bases are these hexagons. So this is going to be a regular hexagonal prism. Regular hexagonal prism. So our hexagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each of the sides are 12. So the perimeter, there are 6 sides, each of them 12 units long, so 72 meters. The area of our hexagon, remember there are 6 equilateral triangles, so 6 times side squared root 3 over 4, 6 times 12 squared root 3 over 4. This reduces to 216 root 3. So we got our perimeter and our area of our base, so we can go straight to the surface area formula, 2b plus ph, and plug in all the values where they belong like we've been doing with the first ones. Our perimeter of the base is 72. The area of our base, b, is 216 root 3. We go back to our diagram and cross off the 12. The only value left over is 15. That's the distance between those two bases. And now we compute. So our total surface area, 2 times 216, is going to be the 432 root 3, plus the 72 times 15 is 1080. So we can't add these together because they're not like terms, so we're going to leave them separate, and that's going to be our total surface area. 432 root 3 plus 1080 square meters. And then again, we go back into our work, we ignore the bases, and we're just focusing on the lateral area, which is 1,080 square meters. All right, last one. They don't give us a diagram, but they give us the lateral area here, and they want us to find the height. So of a prism, the lateral area of a prism is the pH part, right? If you look up above, all the orange squares, we're just focusing in on the pH part. So if the lateral area is 1,368, we put that in for the lateral area. Then they tell us that the base edge length of this regular hexagonal prism is 12. So if we have a regular hexagon where each of the base edges is 12, the perimeter, there are 6 of those, is going to be 72. So the perimeter is 72, and they want us to solve for the height. Well, once we plug in everything that we know, all we have to do is divide both sides by 72, and we get that the height of this regular hexagonal prism is 19. So 19 meters. All right, guys, hope that makes sense. Again, let us know if you have any questions.